Greg Kelly. The latest breaking news and opinions. Entertaining and informative.
Well, this Jack Del Rio, defense coordinator, defensive coach for the Washington Commanders. Sir, you are too good. You are too good for the NFL. You are too good for this nonsense. Man had an opinion about January 6th. The man expressed it on Twitter, as is the place to do. That's the forum. That's the town square. It may not be ideal. It may not be elegant, but that's what we've got. And he said, you know what? If we're going to look into January 6th, we're going to look into the Black Lives Matter riots. We should, right? And all the damage that did. Took a little heat for those comments, so he came out and addressed the media. And I thought probably a poignant and beautifully expressed statement, just told us where he was coming from. This is Coach Del Rio, and I think this is a magnificent statement. Go ahead.
I see the images on TV. People's livelihoods are being destroyed. Businesses are being burned down. No problem. And then we have a dust-up at the Capitol. Well, there's nothing burned down. And we're not going to talk about, we're going to make that a major deal. I just think it's kind of two standards. And if we apply the same standard, and we're going to be reasonable with each other, let's have a discussion. That's all it was. Let's have a discussion. We're Americans. Let's talk it through. I'm for us, having a great opportunity to have a fulfilled life. Like I said, every which way I can. When I'm here, it's about love and respect.
Now, wait a second. I can't. This is totally fine. Did he say dustbin in there?
He said dust up.
Dust up. He said that? So what? Now, he just got fined by his boss $100,000 for what he just said. $100,000 for what he just said. Ron Rivera, the coach, his boss, in one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my entire life. He takes political position after political position. He's a football coach. Now, at least Jack, when he made his statements about this, that, and the other thing, he was doing it on his own time, on his own Twitter account. And then they made it a federal case. And then you, Ron Rivera, as the head coach, this is an official statement, Washington Commanders, statement from the head coach. You talk about how disappointed you are, and as how we all saw last night in the hearings. They were fake hearings, by the way. What happened on Capitol Hill on January 6th was an act of domestic terrorism. Speak for yourself now. This is a political issue. What the hell are you, a PAC? Are you a political action committee? Or are you a football team? Coach Del Rio did apologize for his comments on Wednesday, and he understands the distinction between the events of that dark day and peaceful protests, which are a hallmark of our democracy. He does have the right to do all that stuff. However, words have consequences, and his words hurt a lot of people in our community. I want to make it clear that our organization will not tolerate any equivalency between those who demanded justice in the wake of George Floyd's murder and the actions of those on January 6th who sought to topple our government. You go to hell. After reflecting on the situation and circumstances, I've decided to fine Coach Del Rio $100,000 and give the money to the Capitol Police Memorial Fund. Coach Del Rio, you are too good for the Commanders. You are too good for the NFL. I urge you to not pay this fine. I urge you to quit and run for Congress. Run for the United States Senate. Hell, run for president. This is an emergency. All right. Mike Daddino, our sports guy, is here. Mike, a couple of things I want to get the straight here. Ron Rivera, first of all, the Commanders, are they even good at football?
Well, thanks for having me back on. It's been a bit of a hiatus, but I'm happy to be back.
What's the deal with them in football?
Not a great team, an average team at best.
Average team at best. So you're a football expert. Do you think that Ron Rivera should be sitting around on a Thursday night watching the hearings on television, or should he be looking at, I don't know, film, looking at playbooks? I mean, hell, the spring training is going to, whatever you guys call it, summer training starts, I think, next month, right?
It starts end of July, but the teams have, like, the optional OTAs right now.
It starts next month. Don't tell me how to build a football team.
Okay, yeah, starts next month, end of July.
So, I mean, Jesus, excuse me, but What the hell is he doing talking about this stuff? What kind of reputation does Ron Rivera have? Who's he?
Ron Rivera, as a coach,
Sucks, right?
no, he's actually a pretty good coach. So I was surprised to see this. I didn't even hear about the news until you brought me in. Ron Rivera actually has reasonable accolades as a coach. He's been coaching for the last 10 years. He was coaching for the Panthers. I believe he was two-time Coach of the Year, led them to the Super Bowl with Cam Newton, and then he went to Washington.
They choked in the Super Bowl, though. That I know.
They did choke in the Super Bowl.
They choked Cam Newton, and Cam Newton had a terrible game and also an attitude problem.
After the game when they interviewed him.
You see, I could be
Maybe
on...
you're a sneaky football guy.
I could be on the FAN or whatever. All right, wait, what's his name again? Ron
Rivera.
All right, you keep talking. I want to find out. I'm going to Google this guy.
So, yeah, coached for 10 years. The last 10 years, I believe he was the coach between Carolina and now the Washington Commanders, who were once the football team.
Was he ever a player?
I believe he played 8 years in the NFL. I believe he was drafted in 84, played till 92, started coaching in 97 as a linebackers coach.
Let's see here. Okay, I got him. He's 60 years old. Ronald Eugene Rivera. Funny. No. Let's see. He went to Berkeley. Here we go. He's a liberal. He's a liberal. He's a wimp. He's a lefty, all right. Nobody goes to Berkeley unless you're one of those nut jobs. I mean, it's fine, but let's see. Following graduation, he went to the Bears. The Bears. And in 1984, he played with the Fridge. Remember the Fridge?
That 84 Bear defense.
And who was that? Jim Kelly?
Maybe you do know.
Oh, no. Jim McMahon. McMahon. My name's McMahon. Can you get that song called the Super Bowl Shuffle? That was actually a pretty cool thing. All right, head coach. How much money does a guy like that make?
It depends on the coach. He's probably making a few mil, though, this year.
A few mil. And what about the defensive coach? What about a guy like Jack Del Rio?
Well, Del Rio coached for 10 years, so he's probably one of the more higher paid defensive coaches in the league. I would guess. This is just an educated guess. I'd guess he's making over $1 million.
Over $1 million. And then, but $100,000 that's real money. So if you make him over, let's say he makes $1 million. After taxes, after his agent, after this, that, and the other thing, he probably takes home about less than half of that.
So maybe he's making more than that.
Well, why? Why? Why do you say
100,000? I mean, you're going to give him a 10% of his salary on a suspension?
You're just gauging it on that. I mean, I'm telling you, whatever he makes. Let's say he makes $2 million. All right, after the agent, after taxes, after a lot of other things, he probably brings home $800,000. And then after, has he ever been married? Does he have alimony or anything like that?
I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway, I like Jack Del Rio, even though I haven't met the guy. What else? What can you tell us about Jack?
I could tell you, as an NFL, from an NFL coach perspective, he was a average of the mill coach. I believe he led the Jaguars to the playoffs twice in his 8-year career. Then he went to the Raiders, led them to the playoffs once, and he was fired. And then they actually brought in John Gruden after Del Rio, the coach, and then Gruden was canceled as well.
So, look, maybe I'm hallucinating here, but I mean, up until 8 seconds ago, I'm talking about the Colin Kaepernick and all this crap and Roger Goodell making that ridiculous speech from the basement. The leadership was a little bit conservative. The players are kind of conservative. They lean slightly right, or at least conservative to slightly apolitical, right?
Well, the problem is you don't know, because if you do lean conservative, those players don't typically they won't come out. So
you can be as liberal as you want, right?
Yeah, it seems that way.
And part of it is, look, the country has been radicalized to some degree over the past couple of years. And I think more than half the league is black. Is that right?
Probably like 75%.
75%. And now, so that, if I look at, I would prefer not to see the world or look at the world in this way, but the demographics and the political experts and the pollsters, they tell us that there's sometimes a correlation. Anyway, well, look, I'll shut up for a second. What do you think of this guy getting fined for saying what he said? You know what he said.
You get fined $100K for giving your opinion. I think that's BS.
And after he apologized, the apology was sincere, although, well, maybe it wasn't, because the boss made him do it, and I don't think he had to do it. And can I hear this is the offending remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to hear something that a man making a statement. And this statement, what you hear right here, got him in extreme trouble with his boss, fined $100,000, and it looks like his job is on the line for what he says right now, right here. He said this on Wednesday, by the way. Okay? Go.
I see the images on TV. People's livelihoods are being destroyed. Businesses are being burned down. No problem. And then we have a dust-up at the Capitol. Well, there's nothing burned down. And we're not going to talk about, we're going to make that a major deal. I just think it's kind of two standards. And if we apply the same standard and we're going to be reasonable with each other, let's have a discussion. That's all it was. Let's have a discussion. We're Americans. Let's talk it through. I'm for us, having a great opportunity to have a fulfilled life. Like I said, every which way I can. When I'm here, it's about love and respect.
Come to my office tomorrow at 9 a.m. You are in trouble. What did you just say? You write the team a check for $100,000. We're going to give it to the women and children and the orphans. How dare you say such things? How dare you? What the hell? Oh, this is the Twilight Zone? Am I hallucinating? Is there anything wrong with that statement?
I don't think so. So here's my question to you. If you're Jack Del Rio, Kevin just said in our ears he's making $3.5 million this year. He's made 85. His net worth is $85 million. He's coached like 10 years in the NFL. He has success. Do you leave the NFL? Because he could get canceled and he could get fired with all the cancel culture, or B, he can just kind of suck up to Rivera and the woke mob and just do what he's told, or C, he can leave on his own.
All right. I am writing my own statement. I know you gave me a multiple choice test,
yes.
But I'm going to choose the essay portion. Now, it's not going to be a long essay, but I am crafting a message to him right now, which, by the way, I think he will receive. You know why? Because he follows me on Twitter.
Does he, Jack?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's been following me for some time, apparently. And, all right, so this is, and I'm going to just say this, and I don't want to get him in any more trouble. He has not ever communicated with me, but I sent him a message the other night because I was trying to find him, and I just wanted to find out more about Twitter and what he said. And so let me read you what I wrote him, and I'll take it from there. Where is this thing? Sorry, guys. Jack Del Rio. Here we go. Hey, Coach. Greg Kelly here from Newsmax. Absolutely stunned by what they've put you through. Your comments were thoroughly fair and appropriate. This country is losing its mind. I hope you're well and this doesn't turn into a professional setback. In my opinion, you have absolutely nothing to apologize for. That said, we all have bosses, and I get that. But the treatment of you is downright scary. I'm going to be speaking tonight a bit about your situation. And this is where I think this shows what a kind of a reasonable and sensible and sensitive guy I am. I'm going to be speaking tonight about it. I'm not looking for a comment, and quite frankly, it's probably best that you don't respond to me. I'd hate to cause you any more trouble. Your on-camera statement was first class. Millions support you. Now, that was my direct message to him. No response, and I requested no response, and I literally, he does not need to be communicating with Greg Kelly from Newsmax when the NAACP is busting his balls.
Why is it Greg Kelly from Newsmax, not Greg Kelly from 77 WABC Radio?
Same difference. That was a very small time thing you just did. That was very small time. Save it for your podcast.
Well
all right? All right. Now, where the hell was I? Oh, what I was going to do. I was going to tell Jack, quite frankly, that I think he should quit. I think he should quit.
He won't, but...
How do you know that?
He won't. He won't. He won't quit.
I'm not so sure about that. He should quit. And I think also, he makes a statement. The situation gets worse. He makes an apology. The situation gets even worse. He writes the check. You think the situation's suddenly going to get better? There are billions of dollars flowing around that league. You think $100,000 means anything? They're out for blood, these people. You mentioned before, cancellation. Cancellation is what they're thinking about. They want him gone. Jack Del Rio, don't do it, please. Don't write the check. You know what? If you feel like giving money to the Capital Women's and Orphans, go for it. Do it on your own. Do it privately, not through this Che Rivera guy. What's his name again? Ron who?
Ron
Rivera. Who? Screw that coach. Go back to Berkeley. I can't believe this. I want to do something. I want to do something else. What else? What can we do?
What can you do?
What can do? What can you do?
What can you do?
You know what movie that's from?
No, not a huge movie guy.
What?
Not a huge movie guy. I'm a sports guy, and I know you don't like that, but
you know what? I catch your podcast every now and then. Is there anything else I should know about you?
Why?
Is there anything else I should know about you?
I have a feeling I know what you're referring to when I talked about.
What was all that about? By the way, whatever it's no judgment. I mean, but I would look if I said what you said about anybody. All right,
You gotta say it now.
Well, if I can't really, well, you're the one who said it.
Are you referring to bending over?
Well, actually, now I don't want to go into it, but you said something about. You said yes, it was along those lines, and I was very taken aback.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. For reference, I said Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I don't say it on this show.
I won't say it on
Save
this show.
Save that for your podcast as well. All right. Sorry. Listen, pal, you had great information, great context.
Thank you.
And I appreciate
You mean
it.
that?
Yeah, I do. Mike Daddino, how do we follow you on the social media?
77 WABC Sports. We're on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, pumping out content.
All right. Good stuff. Thanks, Mike, and we'll be right
Thank you,
back.
Greg Kelly, the latest breaking news and opinions, entertaining and informative.